Can't even remember. Must have been in the landslide.
And it was.
Was it another Republican during the primary? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
How many refrigerator yard signs?
I just want to make sure.
Three. Yeah.
I'm like, I am not.
Yeah.
Going through the stop signs.
Yeah.
Who's that?
They're coming through the stop signs. Guys, T-bone.
I'll do that. They're up in my attic.
But it done its job.
Oh my
Since
God.
the stop signs, they were going slow and nobody got hurt. So
True.
they're doing their job. Was it like a stoplight? They sped up to 40 to get through and hurt somebody.
Yeah.
And that's like anybody got hurt. That was amazing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Ready?
He did.
I didn't either. Well, I did my first term. That's what
I'm going to call the Tipton Common Council meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda are the minutes from the last meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the January 13th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any amendment to the agenda today? Hearing none, this is the second meeting of the month. We'll begin with Board of Works and Safety.
We had a really busy morning. We started with an executive session where we interviewed 3 potential firefighters for 2 spots, and we made contingent offers to Seth Hogeson and Jason Vinson. Could be mispronouncing his name. Conditional on public safety medical to fill those 2 spots. Really good candidates. Really excited. We had a third pretty good candidate too, so he's also already a part-timer. So keep our part-time pipeline filled. We approved the park closure for March 15th from 7 to 11 for the Boys and Girls Club. Got a couple updates from the mayor about public safety, so I'll let him do those. Not much from the fire department other than trying to replace the 2 departing firefighters. Police department, we have an opening. Davin Nichols, his last day was end of December. And then some awards. Grant Tansey was recognized for the most arrests in 24. Dalton Ludvigsen, most traffic stops in 24. And then Dalton Money will be our new PIO, so he's going to do some training for that. Jackson Tunnell is on his last week of FTO. And we looked at some 2 bids for 2 new cop cars, police cars. Took those under advisement based on some different options in the future. And that was it for the Board of Works.
Thank you. Golf Advisory's got a meeting this Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Solid Waste.
We had a meeting today. It was very short. We elected our officers today. I did get to nominate Keegan as president for our board again for this year. And Joe in the back of the room got nominated for vice president again for this year. So that was the main thing today, and that was it.
Very good. Thank you. Street, alley, and sidewalk.
I missed the meeting, but I heard that we've rescheduled meetings.
Yeah, correct. Actually, both council members were absent. That did have a brief meeting. In truth, because of the success we've been having with Dylan at the Municipal Services, we've actually converted that to a quarterly meeting. So the report out for that will be less than it has been traditionally, but because we've been checking off a lot of things on that list. So kudos to Dylan. Planning Commission.
We had a meeting the 16th. We elected officers, President, Mr. Bowman, Vice President, Mr. Henderson, Secretary, myself. We had a public hearing on the subdivision control ordinance amendments. After closing, we decided to do a favorable recommendation to this council.
Very good. Thank you. Utility Board?
Utility Board met last Monday in these chambers. I wasn't unable to attend, but I would like to note in the minutes that F&K has started construction on the lift station at the point out at 28 on the curve. That's probably going to take about 3 months depending on the weather. The steel water tower is still an undergoing project, should be finished early spring. And Jim and Matt Smith from Strand Engineering they continue to work with the Stellantis Chrysler people on their pre-water treatment testing and stuff.
Okay.
That's pretty much the meeting.
Very good. And then the report on Youth Council, they had a retreat to kick off this new semester. So they'll be working to execute their projects that they presented last fall. So more to come from that perspective. Concludes the committee report outs for this month. And under new business, we have Tipton Main Street with us to present a proposal.
Thank you for including the third on the agenda because there's plenty of confusion about who I am versus who my dad is. So a lot of people congratulating my dad on becoming Main Street president. So
Well, we're glad you're here.
thank you, yeah. But thank you all for allowing the time for me to speak to you all tonight. I am, for those who don't know me, I am Rob Cochran.
The third.
The third, yes. In the daytime, I work for First Farmers Bank and Trust as a commercial lender, but my night alter ego, I'm the president of the Tipton Main Street Association and serve on their board of directors as well as chair of their Economic Vitality Committee. And what I have before you tonight is a project that our committee and our organization has come up with titled Project Rosebud. And you may be asking yourself, well, why Rosebud? And you know, that's because our project location is at the downtown plaza. We're really wanting to take steps to enhance it and to fully utilize it as it was originally planned out. And, you know, so why Rosebud? Well, the plaza happens to be next to the Diana, and one of the greatest movies of all time, Citizen Kane, you know, that's showing my niche interest.
Wow.
The movie, his sled is named Rosebud, so we wanted to honor the movies, you know, relation to the Diana.
Wow. Did we need all that?
Yeah.
Just a little cultural lesson.
Huh? That's a cultural lesson. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
41.
Rob. Good job, Rob.
But really, a brief project overview, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty details. This is an initiative aimed at transforming the downtown plaza into a central venue for community events, concerts, theater, and the arts. And this not only aligns with several projects and several goals that we wanted to accomplish through our committee strategic plan, but it also aligns with the original vision that was laid out in the city's downtown revitalization plan back in 2020. Now into the nitty-gritty details. This project would involve the construction of a 22-foot by 16-foot performance venue in the southeast corner of the existing footprint of the plaza. So I didn't have any AV, I didn't ask for AV capability, but if you're thinking about the southeast corner near the existing utility hookup, there's a patch of grass where we would plan to put this permanent stage. And this would provide a dedicated venue for these concerts and these community events. And you may be asking yourself, why is there a need? Why would we want to take on this project? And we believe that this project has several tangible benefits to bring to the community. And one is we would plan to utilize this stage through a year-round calendar of event programming that really aims to attract people to our downtown and drive the pedestrian traffic to our local businesses. And not only provide a place for our residents, but promote Tipton across our region and across the state as a vibrant downtown and a place that people want to visit and live. And not only that, but the plaza's location within the Dora district allows events held at the plaza and concerts to integrate that into its programming. Patrons could stop in at the Mad Tap or Wheelies and then walk across the street to a concert at the plaza. And so kind of, our committee came up with that and just kind of a way to benefit for the project, but it also reaffirms not only our organization's commitment to the arts, but the city's commitments to the arts, and aligns with the mayor's initiative of promoting the arts. And then also enhancing, reaffirming our commitment to enhancing the vibrancy of our downtown, furthering our mission, similar to our alley project that we completed back in 2018, 2017.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But kind of a similar project where it's a grassroots effort in collaboration with other organizations and community members. And so as you all know, we don't own that property. And so while these are all great ideas and cool benefits, we can't move forward without the approval of the city council. What I'm not asking for is funding. We plan to utilize funds on hand that we have due to a material change in the flower pot program, as well as funds raised from our organization's donor base. And we plan to go on a capital campaign that includes potential naming rights to the stage, hopefully. And then we would want to reach an operating arrangement with the city that would allow us to utilize the city property for our year-round calendar programming. And then we're hoping that this isn't the end, that this sets the stage, literally, for future projects, and several that we've discussed is a new mural near the plaza. There's several potential sites where we would want to engage existing property owners or existing landowners and discuss their willingness to add a new mural, kind of aligning with that promotion of the arts, increasing vibrancy downtown. We would also be interested in adding additional bike and pedestrian infrastructure, and increasing that bike storage capacity. Potentially adding an air pump. If you pop a flat downtown, having some sort of bike repair stand or something like that. And then advocating as well for the integration of the Tipton Trail system into the plaza, providing that pedestrian connectivity, which is also something that was outlined in the downtown revitalization plan. So I wanted to keep my time short, but also get this project in front of you, seeking your approval for this, again, at no cost to you guys. And I'd be available for questions.
Do you have an estimated cost?
We do. Yes, we have a quote from a local contractor, and we're planning on getting a secondary one, but we're looking at around a $15,000 project.
You brought up murals, so does the mural on the Diana, is the Main Street responsible for that mural?
I believe we contributed to that in some capacity. That was a little bit before my time.
I've been trying to find out exactly who's responsible for that. That's
I
that
can
kind of.
tell you because I did it. So.
Oh, well, Nate's
When I was at
responsible then.
BDO. No, I mean, the one learning lesson we had from that was Donnie McElfresh has learned this on his building. Those bricks that we thought we prepped well enough are actually old. It's a mix of newer at the top, older at the bottom. That's why the old has done so well. The top is mixed with fiberglass and the way they cut brick now, after the fire in 1927. So I would be down to support and help Main Street support redoing that. And murals are gonna fade. There's things you're gonna have to do to maintain them, but I would be all in favor of joining that too.
Yeah, I'm
They're
just
the
not,
Main Street.
I'm just not sure what you're gonna be able to do with the Diana mural. I mean, my dad was a brick mason. Those old those faces are gonna pop.
Yeah.
You have to do what Donnie did to the
Oh.
white building here that he painted. You have to cut out the old brick.
Boy, that's,
It would be, last time we quoted it,
That's-
about 17 grand.
yeah, I was gonna say that's,
I think a lot of it, but anyway, I just curious.
Yeah,
I thought Bob Cochran the third.
Right now-
The third might have the answer to that.
Right now, the cost of construction for the stage, what it would be a concrete foundation, slightly raised above ground level. I think there was a picture provided to
There
you
is.
guys as well. And then there would be a cedar stained pergola covering it. And the total cost of that is about $15,000 right now.
That's right back in the corner by the power.
Correct. So there's easy access to utility hookup for concerts, we envisioned, Tipton on Tap, that festival, utilizing it for their music performances, but really providing our local arts community that dedicated venue. And I know that there's several, Mindy and Andrea from the Mad Tap, are here tonight, as well as Rick Powell, although he does work for the wrong bank, that after 5 p.m., him and I are good friends, and that the theater is in full support of it.
Well, I think this is a great idea. The only question I would have is who controls it? Who says what can go on? I mean, there's going to be a lot of different entities that are going to want to use it. So who sets the schedule? Who says you can or you can't?
And that's why I kind of want to work with you guys and maybe Nate in his capacity as president to really iron out that operating agreement this is how we rent out the facility for $1 or something like that, similar to the Park Gazebo.
I think I think that's fantastic.
Well, who says what goes on there now?
Nobody.
Oh,
Nobody, but you really
So-
don't have.
have at it.
That could be done like the,
Well,
like
like
we do the
overlap,
park.
like
Yes.
schedules,
Everything
yeah.
goes through the mayor's
Right.
office, scheduling, yeah.
Yeah, but that can be a nightmare
Yeah.
sometimes. And in my humble opinion, we did this with the alley early on in Main Street. The city basically said, well, we don't want to, it's just too much for the city. We got too much to do. And the Main Street used to have events in there and things like that. And I'm kind of of the same mind. I mean, it would cost the city more to try to manage that and resources than, hey, it's city property, but let the Main Street do it. And if they want to do it for $50 or make money on it, I don't really care, but it would cost us money to run that. And we don't have, again, I'm speaking for Keegan a bit, but it
I
feels like we
wasn't
probably don't have a
suggesting
ton of
that the
capacity
city
for
would.
the-
No, and that's the last thing that we
I
would
was
want to
just-
do is be a burden on either the mayor's office or municipal services. And so, we would be seeking an arrangement where, we could potentially put on programming and we kind of run the schedule of that.
Yeah, my only thought is once you put that up there, there's going to be a lot of people that will want to use it. So
And that's what
somebody
we-
will have to
we
own,
want.
somebody will have to own the schedule and,
Are you guys willing to do that?
I would have to consult with our board, but I believe that's.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We are
That was
willing to
quick.
take on that additional capacity. And, as we get closer to achieving that Indiana accredited Main Street status, this is the kind of project and these kind of events that Oprah and, our funding sources will want to see. And so we're more than willing to take on that capacity schedule events and really, be the tip of the spear on drawing people downtown.
They would still need to come to us for street closures, wouldn't they? If there was such a thing.
If they wanted to close Court Street.
Right.
And that's something that we had discussed was the potential to close Court Street for, a food truck Friday or
Well, we
a
do it
car
anyway,
show or
so.
something like that. So we would, of course, come back to you guys.
I would just hand them a blank one of
Right.
these.
Yeah.
And instruct them that they need to go through the city if they want to close any sidewalks or streets. But you can include that in any application you have with this.
that's not an issue. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So what is our next step? A motion to approve them to do so? Well, I move-
I just have just a one question for the municipal services. I think it might be best to put that in your project budget. We've been trying to course correct that department to be less site prep and more focus on roads, trash, recycling. So the contractor should have that capability. And again, I don't know what you mean by site prep, but maybe there are things that we could help with. But
Yeah, we were just wanting to make sure, because I think you guys have access to the original plans for the plaza. And so we wanted to make sure
that's
that
fair.
before our site prep, that we don't hit a gas line or something and,
Yeah,
blow up half a block of downtown, so.
And there is irrigation in there. So
Yeah, irrigation and things like that. So we were just wanting to
Okay.
maybe get access to those original plans for our contractor to make sure that,
Okay.
that we don't, we don't hit something.
But you still have to call 811 and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you still have to go through the permitting
Yeah.
process.
But yeah,
Great.
my mention of the municipal services department wasn't intended to be a site prep, but more of a, let's make sure we don't, hit something we're not supposed to.
Because in the paperwork I seen, it said that they were gonna go to plan commission for permits and all that good stuff, so.
Yeah, we would want to do it right the first time, so.
Well, I moved to let the Tipton Main Street go forward with Project Rosebud.
Second.
There's a motion and second to approve Main Street's efforts to continue to scope Project Rosebud. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor of approving the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you all. Before I do leave.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran III.
Thank you. Before I do leave, I want to take a moment to, thank the people that did make this possible, because I obviously am not smart enough to pull all of this off by myself. Our board of directors, Patty Elisario, Julian Purvis, Amanda Baird, Mike Benjamin, who's stepping in for James Davis while he's abroad in Kuwait, Lindsay Ogden, Abby Rittberger, Max McNeil as our treasurer, and then myself, and then our economic vitality committees, Bill Gossard with hand, Nate Kring, Nancy Johnson, Miranda Sylvie, this chamber CEO, myself, and then Tom Gozel. So thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Can't wait to see that mural on the courthouse.
On the courthouse. I don't feel like tackling that piece. So.
On the roof.
We're not willing to take on that project. Feels like a lot.
Rob,
Can you give me all that list that you just ran off?
Oh, yeah.
No items under old business. Under my report, 2 items I want to mention for today. The West Street project, which is it's a full depth reconstruction of West Street from Madison South to South Street. That should be kicking off. We had a pre-con meeting last week. They're estimating 2 to 4 weeks. Some of that depends on still trying to secure all the materials for that project, and then also weather dependent. So the estimated start time on that is 2 to 4 weeks. And then the second is on the public safety building, just a general update that I've been working with a group to do some internal price estimating on the improvements. I've worked with both Chief Stout and Bittner to prioritize a list of critical building improvements, and worked with this group to just give us a cost estimate. So when we do actually formally put it out to bid, that we don't get surprised by the pricing when it comes back. So those numbers were a little higher than we were hoping for. So we're going to continue to fine tune that as we work toward bidding the project out formally, hopefully by no later than the end of February.
On the West Street project, Mayor, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but all those residents have been notified.
At least once, and because of our pre-con meeting last week, we asked some additional questions. So our plan is to send out an additional communication via mail. We've been
Okay,
mailing
so
letters out.
They're all aware of it, and things like
Correct.
trash pickup and all those. Has that been shared on how?
That's been part
I'm
of
not
the-
sure how you're going to do that.
Yeah,
Dylan, but-
we continue to try to figure out what those realities look like.
Okay.
So yeah, trash and then school pickup is another one that
Yeah.
we're asking questions about. Good question. No items under resolutions and ordinances, and then we'll move on to claims.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve for payment, excuse me, claims 178450 through 178545 in the amount of $737,198.12.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve claims. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We're now at petitions, comments, and memorials.
Candy Peppers, here they can come from. Oh, 306. There's the chair on Dearborn, imagine that, it's been there for months. I wish we could be more proactive instead of reactive, but employees, you guys, everybody just drives by and just lets the garbage set, so that's all I have.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
Abby River, 134 Columbia Avenue / 222 South Independence. It's a business question, and I know this is a pipe dream. But what are the chances of business recycling? Like how does that happen? The new guy, the head of the street department, great guy, also my neighbor. I'm just gonna hound him until he gives it. We just do an insane amount of cardboard with the restaurant, Mad Tap. When I was at Side Street, tons of it. I know nobody's gonna have any answers tonight. I just have to keep it on the radar. Like I absolutely understand. It's just I don't know what our capacity is. I know they had talked a little bit about needing maybe additional equipment. So maybe it's outside of the realm of maybe it's like a 3-year plan, whatever. But I would 100% be willing to pay for that. I pay right now. I have to break everything down, put it in the back of my truck, take it to recycling. They're only open on certain days. They are fantastic. We love them. Super glad to have that in town. But I know there are a significant amount of downtown business owners that would absolutely love to take advantage of a service like that and would be willing to give you our hard-earned dollars to have that. So just something to put out there and back in the world that as the business community especially is growing downtown, just a need that continues to need to be met.
Thank you.
has been discussed.
It has been discussed,
Yeah.
but that's about as far as it's
Well,
gotten.
and obviously it's a bigger scope of a project than just me being like, hey, anybody want to pick up the recycling? Like understandably is quite the undertaking, I'm sure. But when I first started in the food truck in 2020, so almost 5 years ago, which is absolutely insane to say, there was no Meat Street Provisions, there was no Sandwich Shop, there was no Mad Tap, there was no The Feel Goods, there was no, none of those places that were generating this kind of recycling or cardboard in general really is primarily what it is. And so now 5 years later, we're all sort of just, every once in a while, one of us will call the other one and say, hey, I'm, throwing it in the back of my truck, and luckily for me, I have the truck because I pull the trailer. It's not always the case. So just as we continue to grow in that way downtown, I think I don't know what the ratio to need to be able to make it worth the while to do, but it seems like we're getting closer maybe to a place where that could be another conversation, it would be great. My dad would also probably really appreciate having to go to recycling. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
question.
My name is Felicia Beckett, and I live at 528 Vine Street. 528 Vine Street. Behind my house is a small alley that is not decommissioned, but nobody uses it. And the neighbors have been taking care of it, including myself, since 2009. I mow it along with everybody else. And in that alley, you drive in and then you reverse and drive back out. And I would like to see if I could get it decommissioned or get the section behind my house, the 6 feet, have it included back into my property. That's it.
Thank you. We'll probably street alley and sidewalk
Yeah.
committee meeting, and
We'll look
I
into
wasn't
that.
aware there's an
I
alley.
mean, it's been several years since the people in the street department would go back there with the bulldozers and all that.
Mhm.
But, we just take care of it ourselves.
Sure.
And I'd like to have it put back into the property as it was
hmm
in the 30s before it became the street department.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No vacation.
Thank you.
It actually doesn't dead end, it loops around.
No, it doesn't.
It's platted to loop around. So we would have to vacate the whole thing. It loops around, I can't. tell.
Where?
Between 518 and whatever that is.
So
So there it is.
I'm at 528,
So you're down
518.
here.
But go back to right where, what's the name of that company, Peak? They have a fence there. And right next to Peak is Lester McCool's property. And the city has been looping around and driving over it, but that's his private property. He's kind of slow and he didn't realize that's his private property. That thing goes from one end and then back. And there is a building that he put back there and you can't get through. Sorry.
No, no, no.
No, that's fine.
I think we'll have to look into it because it almost looks like it's railroad right away too. So we need to do a title or a deed
It's
search
not.
and stuff. And
The
figure out who
railroad
owns it.
always works on the
I'm all
other
about
side.
that.
Did that used to come out?
Thank you.
You're not rid of it.
But she's talking about
Anything else for this evening?
Thank you, guys.
loops around.
Thank you.
I'm making a motion, we adjourn then.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
That's the one.
Motion and second to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Hi, Al.
Hey, Rick.
Say,
Hey, Rick.
you normally show up just after business
If that thing
hours
only
to-
costs about 15 grand, Robbie the Third could
Oh, did
just
he?
write a check for it. I mean, isn't he still living at home and pocketing every
Creative
dime he
distraction.
makes? I mean,
It can-
how much?
And maybe
Yeah,
still
exactly.
exactly some of his dad's.
Well, that could be too.
So 6 feet at one way.